students, today is the 15th of April 2019. You recall that last week I presented lesson 3 to you from Baltimore in the USA. Now I'm back. First, I'd like to thank God for the safe travels. We should not take these things for granted. When you travel from DRC to Burundi, from Accra to Burundi, or Nigeria to Burundi, or Burundi to other places, like Professor Shabani has been on mission from Burundi. He's now in Belgium. He has been in Belgium on account of this doctoral school. So we mustn't take safe travels, for granted. So I'm happy to be back in Nigeria and happy to present this lesson. 2 days ago, that's on Saturday, we had our live virtual class. Group 1 was still struggling, but groups 2 and 3, as you have found in what I uploaded shortly after, did fairly well. We just started, but we will improve. The cohort 1 people did very, very well. Now back to today's lesson. Last lesson was on using ICT, Google Scholar specifically, to derive your doctoral title. Today, we're going to move into developing the entire proposal for your doctoral research and how you use ICT step by step. I assure you it will be a good lesson just like the others we had in the past. So welcome again to ICT in doctoral research from title to thesis.
Yeah, so welcome back to class. I'd like to welcome you all specially and to let you know that we are holding a lesson for today, April the 15th, 2019, here. This is where we are holding the class, inside this place, in the University of Burundi, of course, virtually. I'd like to welcome all of these people, Adiba Additional Alexis, Arakaza Awa, Banyankimbona, Bashonga, Boyayo, Ebe, Gweleyi. Please find your name on this list. I welcome you all. So what will be the objectives of our lesson? There are 3 of them. First, we'll define what a research proposal is, and then we'll look at the contents. But the heart of the matter, the main objective is for us to see how we use ICT in developing the contents of the proposal. I want to let you know that this lesson is about proposal for doctoral thesis. It is not on writing grant-winning proposals. They are very similar, but they are also very different. In another class, I'll be taking you, walking you through how you can write proposals that can win grants, a lot of money for implementing your research proposal. So let's go on to objective number 1. What is a doctoral research proposal? Well, a proposal is a plan. A doctoral proposal is just a plan of the study you wish to carry out for your doctoral thesis. It is just a plan. It's nothing but a plan. But if you do not think well through the plan, if you don't develop a good plan, it can lead to a number of things. It can lead to delay in getting your doctorate because you have implemented a bad plan. It can lead to production of poor quality thesis. And it can also, as a result of this, lead to failure in the defense of the thesis. And you can see this man is crying. He didn't develop a good proposal and he has failed the thesis, the defense of his thesis. Well, I am sure that all the University of Burundi people will have wonderful thesis. University of Burundi Doctoral School, Cohort 2, you are going to have very wonderful thesis because this course is going to guide you in how you can use ICT from title of a thesis to when you defend it. So, as I said, it's like a building plan. You say this is your introduction, your literature review, methodology, data analysis, and all of that. It's like a plan. And as I said, If you have a poor plan, a poor proposal, it's like a building that is with a very bad plan and has a high chance of collapsing. So, if you want some definition, you find this in the lesson note that I have for you and some of the reading items on the class site. So it outlines the general area of study within which the research falls, explains the current state of knowledge and any recent debates on the topic, and demonstrates the originality of the proposed research. So we go on to objective number 2. What are the key elements of a typical doctoral thesis proposal? Might have said it typical because they are not all the same, but there are some things that are common to all research proposals. That is what we are going to be looking at in this lesson. So we have the preliminary section, which will give their title, the research background, methodology, program management, and supplementary. Now, let me take you on a practical journey. So, by the way of practicals, this is the typical outline. You have chapter 1, which is the introductory chapter, and it will have background to the study, the statement of the problem. What problem do you want to solve? Now, what are the aims and objectives of the study? You have to state them very clearly. Then your research questions, because you are going out there to research and you'll be asking some questions. So if we come back to our proposed topics for doctoral studies, you'll find some very interesting things that will then lead you to develop your research question. Let's look at some of them. Let's look at Norbert Manirakiza, Evolution of an Open-Air Dump, Environmental Risk Assessment and Remediation Perspectives, Case of Buterere Landfill. So he has going to be asking some questions about the environmental risks in that landfill. He's going to be looking at asking questions about the remediation. So let's take another example. Let's go down. Very good titles. Okay, let's look at this. Benedict. I think it's Benedict who couldn't switch off a video on Saturday. Ntirampeba introduced. Sorry, my French is not so good. I can see ICT and the matter of introducing the technology, information technology, for ameliorating, correcting oral English, oral French expressions of peoples in Burundi. Kurt Mene or Marie do Bujumbura. This is very, very good. So she'll be asking questions relating to this problem that she wants to solve. So coming back to the main elements after research questions, you then look at the hypothesis. In some studies, you may not need hypothesis, but in a number of them, especially in non-science disciplines, you will be needing hypothesis. Then you have to tell us, why is your study significant? Then the scope of the study, what area is it covering? As you can see from some of the titles, Simon Ntahongendera. I am so sorry I'm pronouncing your names not so well. Please pardon me. Now, you can see it's looking at the following provinces in Bujumbura, Mwaro and Gozi. So that's the scope of this study. Let's look at Micheline. Micheline Sabiteka, who was the first to be listed in Group 3, but she presented towards the end. She's looking at MOOCs based on open edX. So that's the scope, open edX. We have quite a lot of MOOCs. I also developed some MOOCs. You have Coursera, you have edX, you have all of that, but she has defined the scope to open edX. So you have to define the scope of your study. Then there are some concepts that you will have, some terms that you need to clarify, and then ethical considerations of your study. Then your chapter 2 is usually the literature review. You review relevant literature, and then you have the theoretical framework. Then you go to almighty chapter 3. That is where you want to, how you want to solve the problem. Methodology. So you have the following sections: research design, the population, the sample, target population, studies population, target population, sample population, the techniques for sampling, the data gathering technique, the instruments you use, how you analyze the data, and the timeline. And then you put your references and the appendices. As you notice, the proposal, this is still a proposal. When you implement it, then you get the data that you can put in your chapter 4, chapter 5, and so on. So this, my dear students, is the general pattern for writing for the proposal, general template for the research proposal for doctoral thesis. So shall we go to objective number 3? That's the last objective, which is very important. What role does ICT play in each section of the proposal? What role does it play? We're going to proceed like this by looking at the title. What role does ICT play in getting the title? This was the major thrust of our lessons 2 and 3, using Google Scholar for lesson 3, the last lesson. So electronic search of possible titles using academic search engines such as Google Scholar. So that's how we use the ICT for the title section. Let's go on. Let's go to the introduction. How do you use ICT for the introduction? You see, you go to use through electronic search so that you can define your problem very sharply. In the introduction, you need to now use Google Scholar or any other search engine, any other tool that can let you gather all the materials relating to your study, and it will then let you introduce the subject, the problem, very, very nicely, because you will be looking at it from different perspectives. Then we'll go to chapter 2, literature review. That is the Google Scholar search for most up-to-date literature. Now, we did a little part of it, but I tell you, the enjoyable practical session is coming up next week. Next week, we'll be looking at literature review, how you use ICT, how you use Google Scholar, and it will be enjoyable. It will be very enjoyable, yes. So let's go on to the methodology. The methodology would mean you are going to get instruments, scientific instruments, or non-scientific instruments. Now, all the instruments are dependent, all of them, on ICT for their accuracy of measurement. Now, in non-science subjects, ICT plays major roles in instrument development, including validation and determination of reliability. And then online data collection is 100% ICT dependent, like through the internet and via emails. So we're going to go through each of these sections practically in this next series of lessons. So lesson 4 will focus. Lesson 5, this lesson 4 will focus on ICT in literature review. Lesson 6 will focus on ICT and on the methodology. So let's go on. What about data analysis? Now, all the data analysis tools that we're using, all of them are ICT based. So as you can see, my dear students, from title to the defense of your thesis, there's no running away from ICT. It's ICT through and through. Are you afraid of ICT for data analysis? Don't be afraid. We're going to learn it together. I'm going to teach you some very interesting things using some statistical tools. I will teach you as if you don't know anything at all about it. It will be interesting. I promise you. What about the production of your proposal? You see, at the end of writing the proposal, you are not asked by your supervisor and your department and the doctoral school to submit the proposal. You are not going to submit it using handwritten. Now, it's going to be using ICT. So use MS Word as a tool for that. So what have we learned in this lesson 4? In this lesson, we identify the different sections of a doctoral research proposal. And then we discussed the role which ICT plays in each of the sections. Mind what I said, just discussed, because the practicals are coming in the following lessons. So I have an assignment for you. What I want you to do is to develop a research proposal, maximum 5 pages. Since you have these topics, let me make this bigger so that you'll see. Since you have these topics, Since you have these topics, I want you to now develop a proposal. 5 pages. Maximum 5 pages. Single line spacing. So you can see this single line spacing. Maybe 12 point. This is Arial 10 point. You can do 12 point. Any font that you like. So I want you to develop, let's go back to the assignment slide. Yeah, to develop a research proposal, as I said, on the proposed topic of your doctoral thesis. Now, how do you submit? Dear students, I do not want you to submit as email attachment to me. Don't send any email attachment. I will create the assignment on a class site. So you will go to the class site and then submit the assignment. I will give you guidance as to what to do. When is the deadline? 2 weeks. 2 weeks. April 26, Friday, April 26 is the deadline for the assignment. I'm sure you are going to do very well in it. For the rest of this week, what do we have? So we're taking lesson 4 now. On Wednesday, we're going to have the discussion forum. It's going to be available from Tuesday evening up to Wednesday evening. Yeah, that's it. And then on Thursday, please mind the change. Our weekly quiz is not going to be on Friday. Our weekly quiz is going to be on Thursday. It will be available from Wednesday over to Thursday because you are going to have Friday free and Saturday free because these are public holidays. This is Easter period. And on Monday is also free, but you're going to get a timetable next week Monday, which is Easter Monday. So it now remains for me to wish you happy Easter and bye-bye for now.